There's a small drop of gas that starts coming out the bottom of them. Drip, 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 once every few seconds. And I'm going to show you how to fix that right now for $0. So first step with fixing an issue like this is, well, I already have the fairing removed. As you can see, my Petcock was hidden under that fairing, and yours may be too. But the second step after that is going to be draining the fuel, because we're going to take this apart here, and when we do that, the contents of the fuel tank are going to dump out if you don't drain it before. So if you have a hose clamp here, great, disconnect the hose clamp. I don't, because I've been working on it. We're going to go ahead and just put this in here and turn on the Petcock. And we'll come back in a second once this fuel tank is drained. Now, once that's done, go ahead and get the gas can out of the way. Have a rag ready for any remnants of fuel that might be in there. And we will move on to taking the Petcock apart. Pretty simple operation here. Go ahead and move the Petcock to the position where you can get to both screws, and go ahead and just loosen them. They're small. Don't drop them and let them bounce across your garage. You may never find them again. And do this slow so you can see each part come off individually. We have the faceplate, which can usually slide off here, but if it doesn't, so that's just the faceplate that shows on, reserve, and off. We have our second piece here, which we're gonna come back to in a moment, which is this washer. And then third, and get your rag ready because there might be some remnants in here, there is the actual dial. Looks like this. And so in here, there's two things. One, there's this rubber piece with the 4 holes here. That is a replaceable part, and you can get that in a Petcock rebuild kit for your specific bike. And there's also an O-ring in here. So this seal is essentially to isolate all of the holes here in the Petcock to make sure that when you have it off, there's not fuel leaking by and still coming down the tube to your carburetor, or that your reserve and your on aren't actually isolated, leading to you essentially not having a reserve. This O-ring is what keeps it from leaking out of the Petcock on this seam between this faceplate and the Petcock body. So realistically, while you're in here, you should be replacing this O-ring, but oddly enough, I couldn't find a rebuild kit for this Petcock anywhere, so I'm not gonna do that right now. I could figure out what this O-ring is and go get one, but I'm not going to. I didn't, and I don't have one. But that brings us back to this part that I said we would come back to. Now, if you look closely, let's see, at this ring, you can see that it's not really like flat, and that's actually on purpose. So the idea of this is that we can put this back in, because this didn't actually need to come out. While we're here, let's go ahead and put this O-ring back in here. You'll notice when I took it off, it was stuck in here, but it should go on this lip. Should probably put a little Vaseline on that, but we're not going to. And so you see that slips in there. It's spinning. And what keeps this sealed is that this is bent enough to where when you put this plate over this bent washer, it applies pressure against the knob and keeps that O-ring sealed up against its sealing surface. Now, what I think's happening here is I think that this washer is flattened out enough to where it's not actually applying pressure against this dial. one thing that tipped me off on that is that I noticed when playing with the Petcock that I could rock it back and forth quite a bit, pretty much just like that. And so what that leads me to believe is there's no real pressure against this, because if there was pressure against it, I wouldn't really be able to rock it. So what we're gonna do here, in order to get some more pressure on that O-ring, is we're gonna rebend this washer. So I got my washer here. Again, we can see that it's bent. And essentially what we're gonna do, we can see that this is bent this way right here. We're gonna try to find all of these bends and just make them a little more dramatic. Now, it is a fine line here. We don't want to go too far, because if we go too far, it's gonna make your Petcock essentially really hard to turn. So there's a fine line between not enough pressure and too much pressure. So we're just gonna bend this a little bit, and I'm gonna use a socket here to keep a radius and try not to kink this O-ring or this washer. So you see there, that's quite a bit more bend. We'll move on to here. A little more bend. Move on to here. And if you feel like you went a little too much, you can bend it back a little bit with your fingers. It's very pliable. And there. I'm relatively happy with that. I don't know if it's really going to show up on camera, but I just put a little more bend in there at each place so that it'll give me a little more spring back when I go to put this on. And you can actually feel it on your workbench, the fact that this washer is springing back on you and applying good pressure to the workbench. Let's go back to the bike and install it and see if this worked. Now, go ahead and reassemble reverse of disassembly. Take this back out to make sure we're going from start to finish here. Now that O-ring did stick in here again. Really, you should be replacing this. If you can find this O-ring, you should just replace it. But for me, just trying to do this real quick, I'm actually gonna go riding tomorrow. I don't have time to track this down. So what we will do is put a little Vaseline on it to lubricate the O-ring. Couldn't hurt. This isn't a necessary step, but whenever I'm putting O-rings back in a fuel system, I usually try to lubricate them with Vaseline. You want to use Vaseline because it's a petroleum product. So with that lubricated, go ahead and put that back in there. Step 2, here's our spring washer. We want to make sure that that fits around the ring of the dial. You wouldn't want to pinch it with the plate by having it too low or too high or whatever it is. Just make sure that it's actually perfectly around the ring of that dial. Then I'll grab our plate, put that on. This does take a little bit of finagling, but you can kind of tell when it's on there, right? So right now it's not, so I can't get it to lay down all the way, but there, the washer's in place. You can kind of get an idea now of how you did with that spring washer and your bending, seeing how hard it is to move. We'll go ahead and put screws in now. Shoot. Oh, that one. It's right there by the radiator. I'll have to get a magnet to get that one, but in order to stop having to just hold this stuff, I'm gonna at least put one screw in. Alright, got one screw in, should be pretty safe to let that go. Now, get the other screw in. And now, so I can already feel that it's tighter in there. It doesn't rock nearly as much. And it is not too hard to turn the Petcock, so I'm guessing we did a pretty good job. But let's go ahead and put the rest of the system together and add some fuel. So, a little bit of Vaseline on the nipple on the carburetor, couldn't hurt anything. All right, that's on there, good. Now let's add some fuel. Should be a sufficient amount of fuel to test this. All right, we have fuel in there. I can turn it on. I can wiggle it around. No leaks. Go over to reserve. No leaks there. So yeah, rebending that spring washer and getting a little more pressure on that O-ring that's in here definitely fixed this. And I feel no fuel leaks. Perfect. So it worked great. So yeah, that is fixed. Did not have to replace the O-ring. I did not have to spend, in fact, $1 on that. I just rebent the spring washer in here, got some more pressure on that O-ring, and it sealed right up. So I think we are good to go. I'm gonna call that fixed. I'll put this fender back on, and I'm ready to go riding tomorrow. Sweet.